Innovation lesson number 3. There's magic in pursuing a particular market and a particular insight and pursuing it deeply through setbacks, making sure you really deeply understand the opportunity until you get to the point of a transformational business. So let me introduce Kelsey from FeatherLight.
Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happy.
You know what makes me happy? This. I love the fact that in an instant, I can provide feedback to my driver to make all of my future Uber experiences better. But why is it, in this day and age, we can provide more feedback to strangers that drive us around in cars than we can to our coworkers, the people we spend a majority of our waking lives with? Feedback in the workplace now happens once, maybe twice a year. It's intimidating, it lacks context, and it often takes months to prepare. But it doesn't have to be that way. Feedback should be lightweight, it should be approachable, and it should be instantaneous, just like it is with Uber. Industry experts have been touting the benefits of continuous feedback for years. For example, it increases productivity, performance, innovation, the list goes on. But on top of that, we now have a new generation in the workplace that expects and demands a new methodology of management, as well as tools that provide insights and empowerment in real time. And that's why I'm here. I'm Kelsey Conifee, founder of FeatherLight. We are a continuous feedback tool that enables on-the-job learning while providing a real-time performance pulse to managers and senior executives. So how does it actually work? Well, an employee first can send or request feedback on any device at any time. We then take each piece of feedback, parse it through our algorithm, which is proprietary, of course, and then provide an insight dashboard to each individual with guidance that makes taking action on that feedback possible. Now, let me take you back a few years to explain how we got here. I've always personally been interested in behavioral design, but when I studied design and management at Parsons, I learned how to actually create products and experiences that could influence the behavior of others. I then worked at branding and innovation agency Vivaldi Partners Group, where I worked on a number of culture change initiatives with companies like Amex and Philips. And it was through these projects that I learned that placing a product in the hands to be used on a daily basis by every employee is much more effective at changing cultures than sending in a team of consultants to provide a training session. And so I decided to quit to start my own company, Worksite. We quantified behaviors in the workplace that we could then provide to recruiters and talent managers to help them identify candidates that would be a good fit for their company, as well as more effectively manage their people through data. And it was with this product that we came to this program 12 weeks ago. And I'll say that over the past 12 weeks, we've learned more than we have in the past 2 years. We've spoken to nearly 100 customers in industries such as retail, tech, telecom, finance, travel, all of them. And we've seen that consistently they all have the same desires. They all want to instigate growth. They want to increase innovation, they want to improve performance and collaboration, and they want to instill particular desired behaviors in their employees. And on top of this, they want to do it all in real time and know exactly how it's going as they're trying to transform. So we've selected 4 companies to launch an initial pilot with. We have our first check in the bank, and we know that in HR alone, this is a huge opportunity. The spending on human capital management tools annually is $7 billion. But we're not just an HR tool. Through our conversations, we have identified a real acute pain point. Deborah states really well. She's an industry expert in retail. retailer establishments are having a real problem fighting in a world with Amazon. The in-store experience is one of the key culprits to why people are leaving the stores, and they know it. We believe that a solution like Worksite that can enable feedback to the in-store retail associate in real time with guidance that is sent up through the ranks to senior management to help them monitor what's going on in stores will be extremely helpful for the retail experience to improve the overall customer experience in the long run. Our team has some top tech, design, as well as business talent from some of the top universities in the US and has relevant industry experience. On top of that, a hunger to make a real change. We're also guided by some of the leading advisors in some of our industries from companies like Goldman Sachs, Cisco, Taleo, and Citibank. Now, this is only the beginning. We obviously believe in continuous learning, so we're going to continuously develop our product over the coming months. So I hope to see you again here on this stage in September when I'll be demoing with the Alchemist Accelerator. And in the meantime, hope to get to know a few of you. We're not currently raising, but will be in September. And I would like to leave you with one of my favorite all-time quotes by Rob Adams, who led corporate development at Cisco for many years. He said, "I would have killed to have this over the past 20 years, and I'm a Buddhist." Thank you very much.
All right. That was a great job, Kelsey. Questions from the panel?
Sure, Kelsey, great presentation. And as one of your 96 interviewees, I thought you did a great job. And it's a very broad agenda, a very exciting area. Can you talk a little bit about your go-to-market strategy? I mean, given how broad it is, what are the type of industries and what part of the organization are you going to target initially?
Yes, so we've seen through our conversations working in traditional enterprise and traditional companies outside of the retail in-store establishments. We've seen working with creative teams where there is a lot of cross-functional operations happening, where communication is crucial to the success of a project, have been some of the easiest ways to get into companies. But as well, like I mentioned, retail definitely, they have the fire underneath their feet, and they're looking to change, and they need to do something stat. So we believe that that's really where the biggest opportunity lies.
Great. Other questions from the panel? Yeah,
Yeah,
over here.
I've got a question, John.
Oh, go ahead, Martin.
Yeah, Kelsey, great presentation. A question for you on the sort of inside the enterprise about the data that you're capturing and getting feedback. I think these systems work really well, in sort of public spaces, but inside the enterprise, people may be worried about sort of anonymizing the feedback. Have you had any thoughts on that and how you would deploy this inside the enterprise in that sort of context?
Yes, so we've definitely been talking to a lot of companies to see where feedback naturally happens and where it could be most useful if it does not happen. So we've seen some natural places are periods of transition. So for example, onboarding of new hires. In the first 3 months when someone's joining a company, giving them continuous feedback to help guide them and get them up to speed as fast as possible is something that can instill this new behavior in them from day one, but also just provide them to make them get up to speed as fast as possible, as well as people on track for promotions. Any period of transition where continuous feedback would be useful has been a few areas where we've identified.
Okay, thank you.
Question over here, Nikhil.
Yeah, my question is that when you collect feedback like this, particularly if you're getting feedback from multiple industries, how do you make sure that you're getting the right amount of feedback from the right people? And I'll explain to you why I'm asking that. Your quote from retail reminded me of similar quotes I've seen. Retail is one of the segments that we've targeted. And what I found in the past was that people would come back with these kind of killer quotes, and they turned out to be wrong. It turned out there are a lot of people working in retail, and depending on who you sampled, you might actually get some feedback that wasn't particularly useful or even accurate.
Mm-hmm. So in the retail situation, for example, we've seen it's typically the big box retailers, the national retailers, where feedback to an in-store associate at stores like Macy's, Bloomingdale's, and also in particular commission-driven sales teams. Feedback to them is extremely important and drives the individual associates' performance and compensation towards the end of the year. So getting information from not only the customer who they're driven to create a relationship with, but as well as their peers and managers actually improves the overall sales outcome of the team, not just the individual. So we've seen that in particular for those commission-based areas, it's highly effective.
Any other questions? No? Well, I think this is a really hot area. It's really interesting in the investment world, things get hot, and HR is kind of hot, and I know this is broader than that, and you're hitting areas that other solutions haven't hit yet. So thanks so much for being in the program. We really appreciate it. Here's your certificate
Perfect.
and a little gift.
Thank you.
Thank you.